What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rock'em. Guys, the Six Man Show Postgame Live is on the road. We took it on the road for the holidays. I'm up north visiting my family for Thanksgiving. But that doesn't mean the show stops. No, especially when the Magic get their fourth straight win. W. Let's go. What is going on, folks? So glad you guys are here. Before we get to the chat, before we get to the super chats that I'm seeing, you got to know that Six Man Show Postgame Live is presented by Rock'em. Rock'em is the world's largest sock store, and they are located in Orlando. It's a Central Florida company. A lot of their employees are diehard Magic fans. We love them. They love us. They're great supporters of ours. So go support them. You can use code MAGIC20 at Rock'em.com to get 20% off your order of Orlando Magic socks or underwear, or not just Magic stuff. They've got NFL, NHL, college sports, non-sports things like Christmas stuff. I mean, you name it, they've probably got the license for it. So check them out at Rock'em.com. Folks, can you believe what is happening? 4 in a row for the Orlando Magic. We said, coming into this stretch, where you had, who is it? Brooklyn, Chicago, Indiana, Toronto. We said this 5-game stretch is really going to show us what this team is made of. And you go 4-1. 4-1. You can barely ask for more than that. Obviously, you want to see them beat Brooklyn last Tuesday, but right now we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about the fact it's been 4 in a row, and the last 2 have been blowouts. Blowout victories for the Magic. Such a W, guys. Chat, how are we feeling? First off, always got to start off with the super chats. Shine says, Chuma. I loved what David and Jeff said on the broadcast. If by some miracle it comes down to point differential, which I don't think it will, we're going to talk about that later. If it comes down to point differential and the Magic squeak by 1, 2, or 3 points, just think about that Chuma 3. It made all the difference, potentially. We'll see. And then Ty Mr. TV, thank you for your super chat as well. He says, like button. Suggs is all dog. We coming for you, Eddie House. Eddie House is next as far as the in-season tournament goes. But yes, he's right. Hit that like button, guys. What a night for the Magic. Guys, chat, how are we feeling? Let's take a look. You guys have been going crazy in the chat. Sam says, play that song. Let's freaking go. Chris says, play that song. Oh, man. What a night. Ty says, play our song. Ed says, Michael Jordan just tweeted asking Suggs for his autograph. Holy smokes. Jalen Suggs was unbelievable tonight. That dude is a monster. Jalen Suggs, like, I was joking with the guys. I don't know, like, some nights, I mean, first off, he always plays hard. Don't get me wrong. But some nights he's just, like, got an animal instinct to him, and that was him tonight. He was incredible. Lachlan says, what a win. It really was. This is a great point, D. Randalls. He says, Magic didn't fold in the second half tonight, learning from their mistakes. How many of you, myself included, how many of us got to halftime with what ended up being an 11-point lead, and you're like, that's not big enough. Not for this team. Not for this team. And yet they go out there, they win the third quarter, and end up winning by, what was it, 19? What was the final score again? I already forgot. Okay, yeah, 19. Crazy. What a great game. The Only Hero says, what a great win. Suggs got that dog in him. Amazing defense throughout the game. Goga with 5 blocks. When our guys are on, we can beat anybody in the league. Play that song. 100% facts. 100% facts. And in fact, in just a little bit, guys, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Actually, well, no, just wait. In a little bit, I'm going to ask you a very important question, and I want the chat to get involved. We're going to do like a poll, basically, okay? So stick around for that, okay? Santi Leon says, 4 seed, anyone? I mean, just saying. We're going to look at the standings later like we always do, and the Magic are, I believe, now in the 4th seed. Okay, tied for the 4th seed still. Oh, let's see what else. Didalo says, a win, and we're ahead of schedule, and Raptors fans are annoyed. What a time to be alive. Absolutely. Oh, man. Let's see. Man, you guys are insane. Look at I can't even keep up with all this, guys. You guys are crazy. David Duffy says, closet, Kevin. Yeah, I got to be a little bit quiet. Like I said, I'm staying with family up north for the holiday. And just on the other side of this wall is sleeping children. If I wake them up, I'm going to have to sleep outside. So I'm trying to be respectful to everyone in the house. Let's see, guys. Rich Collab says, Mosley Coach of the Year. I mean, Magic keep playing like this. He's got to at least be in the conversation. Why not? Why not? Man. ORLRFC. Wait, is that Manny? Of course it's Manny. You got the Jeep in the profile pic. He says, we're just back. You better believe it, Manny. You better freaking believe it. Ryan says, my guess is you watch the game on League Pass since you are out of the view. Yes, I watch every Orlando Magic game on NBA League Pass, and I have for 16, 17 years. Long time. Santi Leon says, we got our starting two guard. Yeah. There's no doubt that Jalen Suggs is the starting two guard of the Orlando Magic. Are you kidding me? That dude is unreal. Alex says, Goga block party. Again, back-to-back games for Goga. Just absolute block party. It's amazing. Amazing. Oh, Mary says, Jalen plays with so much heart and hustle. I love him so much. Welcome to the crew. Just love that guy. Love that guy. Soul Train says, Jonathan Isaac was more aggressive and played good defense. Yeah. Great defense. Lachlan says, Raptors were pretty trash. Yeah, but there's a line somewhere, right? I think Sunday, the Pacers were not at their best. I think the Magic helped them look even worse. I think tonight, I don't know. I don't think the Raptors are that good of a team, especially offensively. They should be a good defensive team, good rebounding team. But offensively, they just don't have the kind of alpha guys that you'd expect a good basketball team to have. I think they're an okay team. I don't think they're good. So to call them pretty trash, yeah, maybe, but how much of that was the Magic's defense? That's the question. Something you got to think about. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. Lewis says, home court advantage for the first round of the playoffs this year. I mean, so far. All right, I'm almost through. We're just... Daedalus starts the sleep outside chant. That's awesome. Thanks, praises. Says, producer Kev wins MVP for letting the kids sleep. I'm trying my best. You know how hard it is not to raise my voice right now? The Orlando Magic just won by 19. They won their fourth game in a row. Tomorrow night we play the freaking NBA champ Denver Nuggets. Friday we play the Celtics. I'm freaking fired up, okay, guys? But I gotta be quiet about it, okay? Just trust that I'm fired up. Cody says that Orlando arena is starting to look more packed each game. Culture is coming back. That is facts, man. The tides are changing. And I freaking love it, man. It's awesome. So good. Sam says, I bought a Suggs jersey mid-game. Couldn't help myself. Can't blame you, dude. Can't blame you. I mean, incredible. Jesse says, producer Kevin, are we winning 8 straight Larry O'Brien trophies? Imagine. All right, guys. Wow. What a fun night. Let's talk about this game. Okay, so you come off the win in Indy. You come home for what is just, this is hard to believe, the 4th true home game of the entire season. I cannot believe it is November 21st, and this is just the 4th home game. Crazy. Anyway, you come home off that road trip. You're flying high. How will the Magic respond? Number one, how will they respond to coming home game? How will they respond in-season tournament as well? We got our answer. They got off to, once again, a great start. 10-4 start to start the game. And it was early on. We had maybe the highlight of the game was that Jalen steal where he reached around Siakam. Siakam tried to grab the entry pass and Jalen just lunged in front of him, grabbed the ball and led to the Franz 3. Amazing play. Then a couple minutes later, that made it 26-18 was when Goga got the block and set up the Joe Ingles 3 where he just Joe Ingles is the most casual basketball player on the planet, I think. He's just so casual. He gets the ball, he gets the flyby, and he just sits there. He's like, okay, I'm going to shoot it now. Made it an 8-point game. And the Magic lead, they led 30-23 after the first quarter. So once again, a strong first quarter, for the Magic. And it's the second quarter where they go on yet another run. Once again, the Orlando Magic, the best first half team in the league and the best, specifically the second quarter team in the league. Something about this team in the second quarter. I don't know if it's the second unit, the bench unit, whatever it is. They're insane. It's just crazy. But anyway, they get up to a 19-point lead in the second quarter before the Raptors go on another run with that Scotty Barnes 3 at the end of the first half at the buzzer that made it an 11-point game going into half. And like I mentioned a second ago, I was like, okay, that's not big enough. I'd like a bigger lead than that. I thought the Magic played better, played good enough to have a bigger lead, I should say. And so to only have an 11-point lead was not ideal, especially when you're going to a third quarter that statistically this season has been a big letdown for the Magic. And yet, the Orlando Magic go out there and win the third quarter of a basketball game. Amazing. 33-26. They win it by 7. Big time. And honestly, it could have been even more. But then you go out there and then you win the fourth quarter as well, even with your third unit plus Cole basically playing the last 3.5 minutes or so of the fourth quarter. I was so impressed with this team and how they just kept coming at the Toronto Raptors. They did not let up. They kept playing their game. I thought Toronto defensively was not good tonight for a team that is, by some people, touted to be believed to be a good defensive team. Some people consider the Raptors to be a good defensive team. I think they are. I think they should be with the personnel that they have. But tonight, the Magic were able to do whatever they wanted. Especially once the Raptors got into that zone, the Magic were just picking it apart, which doesn't always happen for the Magic, especially because we lack shooting. But tonight, I mean, just convincing win, back-to-back. Convincing, almost wire-to-wire victories for the Magic. And this is what we said coming into the stretch, this 5-game stretch that I talked about at the very top of the show, where you had the Nets, the Bulls, the Pacers, and the Raptors. These are your peers, okay? This is the measuring stick. These 5 games were the measuring stick for this team. Where are you in the landscape of the Eastern Conference? And between tonight, Sunday, and really the last week, but especially tonight and Sunday, you really establish yourselves potentially as the top of that tier. I mean, you can't argue with the last 2 games. Sure, you can call them a small sample size or whatever, but still, you go out there, you get a 40-point lead on the road at the Pacers, and tonight, you're up by around 20 for most of the second half against the Raptors. Oh, and by the way, you're missing 2 starters. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Rich says, Goga said, no go Raptors. I just love Goga puns. I think they're so funny. Especially because there's just such a stretch. And so you really have to you have to just try to make it work. Oh, man. Michael, this is a great point. He says, let them keep not talking about our Magic. Keep sleeping on us, guys. Keep sleeping. I dare you. We're going to make them pay. JSCO, we're going to talk about Friday in a little bit. But yeah, Friday is the biggest game of the young season. For sure. For sure. Again, we're going to talk about that later. Okay. Before I get into the box score, guys. Actually, no. We're going to do box score first. Let's take a look at the box score. Let me pull this up. I'm also only rocking, because I'm not at home, I don't have multiple monitors here, so we're going to make this work. First off, Michael says, great game. Thanks, Kevin. Hit that like button, guys. Good night, Maniacs. Go Magic. Michael, good night to you, man. I know you're over in Ireland, so sleep tight. I know it's a freaking late night for you, or early morning, so thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's take a look at the box score here. So Franz was 17 on 8 of 17 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals for Franz. I thought it was a solid night for Franz. Would have liked to see him hit a couple more of those threes, at least one more maybe. But yeah, can't complain about Franz. Very aggressive, and it was the right move tonight. Again, the Raptors, I was disappointed with their defense. They allowed us to get to the rim a lot, and we're going to look at that later with the team stats. But yeah, 17 for him. Paolo, just terrific. 25 points, including 2 of 3 from 3, 5 boards, 3 assists, a block. And once again, we talked about this with the Pacers game, guys. Look at this. 3 combined turnovers for your key guys. 3. It's just sensational. That's going to give you a chance to win any night. You get 3 combined turnovers from Paolo and Franz. Goga, 9 points, 7 boards, 6 assists for Goga, and 5 blocks. I didn't know he had 6 assists. He had 9, 5, 5, 5. Oh, man, that's crazy. I wonder how many times that's happening this season. A player gets that kind of stat line where they get at least 5 rebounds, assists, blocks. Guarantee you it's not that many times. Jalen Suggs, though, what a night for him. Second consecutive game with 18 points. Also adds 3 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and countless number of other plays that he impacted that don't show up on the stat, in the box score. Crazy. Anthony Black, 5 points, 5 boards, only 1 assist, which is a little surprising, a steal. No turnovers for him. And then you look at the bench. Just a solid night for the bench. Joe Ingles, 6 points. A little bit of everything everywhere else. 10 points for Gary Harris. Again, he's just feeling it right now. 9 points for J.I. Here's the key right now with J.I. Look at that. He played 12 minutes on the first night of a back-to-back. You guys know what that means? Do you guys know what that means? That means Jonathan Isaac is going to play tomorrow night, barring some sort of setback, and there's a good chance he can play 15 minutes, 17 minutes maybe, and you're going to need it against the Nuggets. Whether it's, battling with Jokic or at least weak side help or Gardner and Gordon or whoever. They obviously have a lot of weapons. But yeah, that means you're going to have a nice dose of Jonathan Isaac, knock on wood. Mo Wagner, 10 points for him. Just a nice night for him. Cole Anthony, I thought, was just great. Just the aggression, and then obviously a double-double, 15 points, 10 assists for him. I mean, 15 points, 10 assists in 29 minutes. You'll take that from Cole Anthony on very efficient shooting. I mean, that's just great. Chuma came in there and potentially advanced the Magic into the knockout stage of the in-season tournament with his 2 threes, but we'll see. And then Caleb Houston and Admiral Schofield, relatively quiet, obviously, in just 3.5 minutes or so. Yeah, and then, the Raptors, they ended up shooting 50% from the field, which is surprising. It didn't feel that way. I knew they were shooting well from 3, 50% from 3, which is kind of crazy. They shoot more free throws than the Magic, but the big thing is the Magic just took way more shots, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, still, they had 12 more shots the Magic did. That's crazy. Part of that is turnovers, 23-12. That's it. That's the difference right there in the shots, 23-12. Let's look at some other team stats here. Magic with 23 fast break points. Look at the points in the paint. This is what I was talking about a second ago, guys. 68 points in the paint. The Orlando Magic got to do whatever they wanted at the rim in the paint. 68. That's over half of your points were in the paint compared to their 36. In addition, you get 23 fast break points. 27 points was the biggest lead. 56 bench points. Only 12 turnovers. 31 points off turnovers. That is a dominant performance. Dominant performance from the Magic. Good grief, man. That was my first time seeing those numbers. I knew they were good. I did not realize they were that good. Wow. You out-rebound the Raptors by 2, again, including 15 offensive rebounds. This team is just cooking on the offensive glass right now. Just amazing. 31 assists on 50 field goals. Not bad. Yeah, Luke says it right here. Raptors shot 14 of 28 from 3 and still got smoked. Incredible. Yeah, it's crazy. The Magic are like bucking trends. Like the fact that Magic are doing this, especially like Sunday night. Tonight you shoot 12 of 31 from 3. That's a little more normal in today's NBA. But Sunday night you shoot way fewer threes, make way fewer threes, and start blowing teams out. It's just not the way the NBA is played right now, but it's the way this personnel is set up, and it's working. It's great. Again, there's those 12 steals, 8 blocks for the Magic, only 13 turnovers. We already looked at points in the paint, largest lead. Yeah, good stuff. All right, guys, we're going to look at the standings here. I'm going to refresh them in case there are other... Actually, before we do this, I forgot to look at the other scores. We got to look at the other scores first. So, the only game that is final is the Magic game. Right now, the Pacers... Oh, they came back. They were down big to the Hawks. Look at this. They outscored them by 18 in the third quarter. They currently lead 138 to 135 in Atlanta. The Pacers are 2-0 in in-season tournament play. So if they win this, they're almost a lock. Cavs are up on the 76ers, and the other Western games are just starting. But wow, that's crazy. The Pacers are doing that. Let's look at the standings now, guys. Ha ha ha! Look at this. 9-5. Your Orlando Magic are 9-5. Again, think about their schedule, guys. Think about what they've done. Think about the fact that tonight was just the 4th true home game of the season, and they are 9-5. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. They've won 4 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 7-3 in their last 10. Someone do the math for me. This 64% win percentage, or 64% win percentage. What is that in an 82 game season? Chat, I need you to help me out. What is that over the 82 game season? I mean, it's over 50. That's insane. Didala says these standings are getting me excited right before bed. Oh man. Okay, guys. While chat's doing the math for me, okay, between 52 and 53 wins. I knew it was over 50. All right, guys. This is what I want to do. I want to do a little exercise before we talk about what's coming up here. Think about your predictions for this team preseason. Okay, whatever you thought it was, whether it was 10 seed, 6 seed, whether it was 35 wins or 50 wins. Think about what it was. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Number 1, and don't answer until I ask both questions, okay? Number 1, has your projection for this team changed in the first 14 games of the season? Like I said, based on what you thought, 35 wins, whatever it was, has it changed? And number 2, what are your projections now for this team? Like based on the 14 games we've seen, what do you think this team can accomplish? Because I'm trying not to get too carried away, but the ceiling for this team just keeps rising, for me at least. So let me know in the chat, guys. Have your predictions changed? And what do you think this team can do now? Like based on 14 games that we've seen, what do you think? What do you think? Steven says, for being down 2 starters, this is fantastic. Yeah. Really crazy. Really crazy. Chris says, if this keeps going, top 2 in the East is not out of the question. Wow. That is bold. But that's crazy. That would be incredible. Sam says it's changed barely. I had 44 wins. I think we can hit between 46 and 48. Jesse says, not really. I think we'll still end up slightly above 500. Cody says, I thought the 7th seed, but we may crack the 4th or 5th seed. David S. says, it has changed completely. I originally predicted 43 wins, but now I think we'll win at least 50. The defense is that good. Grit says 50 plus wins for sure. Steven says yes, and he's now up to 51 wins. Robert says 48 wins. Chris says, heck yeah, top 2 in the East. Lewis says 50 and 32, same as the 93 team. I was focused from the beginning. Joseph says, I've been prepared to be happy with a 500 season, but I fully expect it to be a little over that. Yeah. JSCO says no change, 41 and 41. We're doing great, but still need for growth in holding leads. That's true. Lachlan says, I'd say 42 wins. Instead of 42 wins, we can possibly get 46. C. Thomas says, we are in an easier section of our schedule. Denver will be a big test. I think realistically, we can be at the 4 seed. Ryan says, I had 45 wins. Now I have them at 51. Michael said, I'm still saying around 42 to 47. Didala says, my prediction is a 6 seed. Slightly better than what you had going into the season. Times TV says, I will get back to you after the next 2 games. That's a smart man. Joseph says, 55 wins, no problem. Doc says, 1 game at a time. I respect it. Just a couple more here. Chris says, I thought 41. Now I'm thinking 50. Didala says 47. Sargon says 55 wins. Jalen Suggs is him. That'd be insane. Sam says this defense is the real deal. I don't doubt that at all. Don't doubt that. David says, we didn't start to play the song chant in the fourth quarter. Need to get that going. Yeah, guys, we need to get this going. Well, yeah, we need to get this going. I'm just leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it with this. Nick says 77 wins. I like it, Nick. I like it a lot. That's awesome, guys. Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm trying to temper expectations. But again, when we talked about the teams that we expected to be the peers of the Magic, the teams you just played over the last week, to me, I think you have established yourselves at the top of that category. So the top of that category means you are somewhere in the 5 to 7 range, as opposed to the 6 to 10 range that I think a lot of people thought. So anyway, that's really exciting. Guys, before we talk about tomorrow, before we talk about Friday and a couple other things, I do want to remind you that Six Man Show Postgame Live is presented by Rock'em. Rock'em is a great company that make awesome socks and underwear. It's all kinds of sports things like college football, NFL, NHL, and of course the NBA and the Orlando Magic, as well as like pop culture references, things like Disney, Pixar, Harry Potter, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. They have modern stuff. They have retro stuff. They have all kinds of cool stuff. We're big fans of Rock'em, and we'd really appreciate it if you shopped at Rock'em.com and used the code MAGIC20 to get 20% off your order at Rock'em.com. That code is good all season long, so whether it's tonight and you're celebrating a Magic win, or whether it's next week and you're buying a gift for a friend or a family member for Christmas, you can use that code MAGIC20 all season long. Okay, guys, I want to talk about the rest of this week and what it potentially means for this team, okay? Before I move on, Luke Sylvia, co-host of the Six Man Show, says Jalen Suggs said post-game there was maybe a little extra juice tonight after being asked if the fourth pick from his draft class being in the building tonight added additional juice to his game. That does not surprise me. Like I said, Jalen was on something tonight. I mean, that dude was fired up from the get-go. Like, you saw how fired up he was when it was a 10-4 game? Whew, that dude is special, man. That dude is special. Joe Smith says, the Jam Hot ship to Washington State would love to partake. Yeah, I can promise you that they don't. But when you come back to Central Florida, or come to Central Florida, I should say, you should definitely swing by. Okay, guys, let me talk about tomorrow first. And then obviously I'm going to talk about Friday. I'm not going to talk too much about Friday because I need to save Friday for tomorrow, okay? But I do want to talk about tomorrow's game. And I'm actually going to pull up the box score again, and I'm going to show you why, okay? First night of a back-to-back tonight, what do you notice? No one played a ton of minutes. Obviously, these three guys are over 30 minutes. That's a decent chunk, especially considering it's Paolo and Franz. But nobody else played sizable minutes. Okay, Cole's down here on 29. But obviously, we already talked about Jonathan Isaac. The fact he only played 12 minutes tonight, that means he should be wide open tomorrow to go 15 plus minutes. And you're probably going to need every second of him tomorrow. But the rest of the guys, again, this isn't like a 35, 37-minute game because it wasn't close, you know? Although it's very rare for the Magic to play anyone that long right now. But either way, 32 minutes, 31 minutes. And again, we're at home. There's no travel, which has only happened once this season that we've had back-to-back home games, by the way, which is insanity that we are in November 21st. And we have this is only the second time we've had two home games, you know, back-to-back. And I don't mean back-to-back days. I mean back-to-back games. Obviously, this one is an actual back-to-back. But no travel. So they're going to sleep in their own beds tonight, get, you know, the home cooking as far as rehab and everything, all of our facilities. And we go ahead tomorrow night against the reigning NBA champs. Now, the reigning NBA champs are a bit, I don't want to say they're in shambles. Obviously, they're not. But Monday night, they played in Detroit and just became unhinged. Head coach Malone, like 2 techs, he's tossed. Nikola Jokic, 2 techs, he's tossed. Now, on the one hand, that means Jokic was well rested coming into this game tomorrow. But like chat, a couple of you have already mentioned, there's no Jamal Murray. So that's great. And then, yeah, it's going to be interesting. This Magic team is playing their best basketball of the season, obviously. But they're playing against the NBA champs. So what's going to happen tomorrow night? I don't know. I really genuinely don't know. Part of me says the Magic are just rolling. But part of me says it's the Nuggets and they're going to be really pissed off after Monday. I know they won that game in Detroit, but I think Jokic is just going to be mad. And angry Jokic is not fun, which is why I think having Goga is going to be helpful. Guarding him, good shot blocker, And then obviously I think Jonathan Isaac can come in there and cause havoc on this team. Jokic is obviously one of the best passers in the NBA. And so if we can have Jonathan Isaac out there defending him, especially when he's up high and trying to just pick out guys, the length of Jonathan Isaac, if he can maybe, play some minutes on him, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is it's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. Joseph says, beat the champs a couple times last year. If I'm not mistaken, we went 1-1 against the Nuggets last year. Wasn't last year the year that Jokic hit that 3 basically at the buzzer? I'm pretty sure that was last year. So, yeah, that was... Is YouTube sending you guys ads right now? Is that what's happening? I'm sorry, guys. That's out of our control. We have it on the lowest possible setting for ads. And every once in a while, they throw it in there during the live stream. So, sorry about that, guys. That is 100% out of our control. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that was last year. I'm pretty sure when Jokic hit that 3 from straight away in Denver and just crushed our hearts. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. I really don't know what to expect. Guys, final thoughts. Get them in the chat before we call this a night. Nice little 30-minute recap of this game. Again, the Magic are just flying, guys. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it, but I still can't believe how it's happening. Like, a 4-game win streak doesn't shock me, but the fact that these last 2 games have been blowouts, it's just crazy. It's kind of crazy. I just didn't expect that, especially 4-1 in this stretch. It's great. It's great. Let's see. Anthony says, I see the Magic winning tomorrow. Go Magic. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. Chris says, Powell and Franz All-Stars. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Didal says, I'm excited to see how we match up with the Nuggets. Even if we lose, we'd love to see how we measure up. Absolutely. David S. says, shout out to our front office. Been doing a fantastic job building this team. That is 100% facts. That is 100% facts. Sargon says, hey, Kevin, thanks for all you do. I look forward to these shows after. Sargon, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you so much for the kind words. And I think that's a great way to end it, guys. Oh, another win for your Orlando Magic. 4 in a row. They're 9-5 on the season. And they play the defending champs tomorrow at home. It's going to be spicy. I'm super pumped about it. I hope you are too. We'll be back here for the Six Man Show Postgame Live tomorrow night. An episode of the Six Fan Show will go up overnight tonight as well. Benji was outside of Amway tonight. But until then, we'll see you next time. Go Magic!